It'll give a little better time. Today I'm going to start out, I'm going to give you a little bit of my background. My name is Gary Don. My major is health and physical education. I'm a senior at Tech. I graduated Bledsoe County High School. Played a few sports, baseball, basketball, not much. Today our topic is muscular fitness. How many seniors do we have? Any seniors? How many juniors? Do we have any sophomores? More juniors than anything. You've probably heard by now that when you graduate or get close to graduate, there's going to be a lot of changes happen to you in your life. Whether you go on to school or you continue or you go into the job force, there's going to be a lot of changes. You go to work, you're going to be working more than likely 8, 10, possibly 12 hours a day. You go on to school, to a college, a junior college. College is a little bit tougher than what I thought it was going to be. There's a lot more homework involved, a lot of busy work. And even if you go to work, you got to redo your schedule around your work schedule. And the word that you'll come into is called free time. And when you're in school, free time is when you don't have any homework or you're not in class. And that's just your time to do anything you want to. And for me, free time used to be bedtime. When I wasn't doing anything, I was in bed, didn't want to be doing anything besides sleep. So, I still went out, I played sports with my friends that was up here at Cookeville, not as much as I used to, and I started gaining a little weight, and it didn't really bother me. It wasn't a whole lot, but my free time I had, sometimes I went to play basketball or such, and still I didn't know why I was gaining weight. And it comes down to metabolism, and it's different for everyone. You all's metabolism right now is probably going to be as high as it's ever going to be. It seems like teenagers, they can eat anything, and they don't seem to gain anything, any weight. For me, it's metabolism. A couple of my friends, they started gaining weight too. So I started looking around, and I couldn't, run every day and go play basketball 3 or 4 hours a day because of school. So I started lifting weights for just a hobby. And I just did it kind of make my appearance look better. And but I didn't know that by lifting weights, you can also burn calories. And I looked it up, and 1 pound of muscle will burn 50 calories a day. So if you gain 4 pounds of muscle, that's an extra 200 calories a day that you can eat, but your body will burn it just by itself without having to do any extra activities. Also, when you get out of school, I don't know if you plan on moving away to college or going to the Tech. You'll meet new friends when you get there, but a lot of your old friends will stay here and stuff. And I remember when I was in high school, I could call 10 of my friends, and we'd have basketball games in 5 minutes in my backyard. Now you can't find those guys with search warrants to do anything. So there's going to be a lot of changes that take place, and so just be ready. And you've got to be. It's going to come to a point in time where you're going to have to be self-motivated to do anything. If you want to go run on the weekend, especially here at Tech, you ain't going to find nobody to go do it with you. So you have to go do it by yourself. Today's activities, we're going to watch a film. I'm going to pass out the definitions. And when you get these definitions, just all the words are on there, just kind of 2 or 3 word definition for each word. We're going to do a little review test at the end, make sure that I got everything across the tube. Then I'm going to take this broomstick here, and this is going to represent like a barbell, like downstairs, like we're doing a bench press. And this is going to represent like a dumbbell. So I'm going to show you some different exercises you can do. I noticed when y'all down there working out that everybody seems to be doing it. It's just maybe don't really know what to do. I'm going to show you some things, maybe some variations in lifting weights, and maybe you can like draw a little stick in there or something or other, and when you go back down there tomorrow, to Tuesday tomorrow, we may try some of these different things. So I hope you learned something today, but if you don't learn anything else, learn to appreciate your body. Your body is a machine, and it's a grand machine. Like that computer over here. I don't see how you can hit the keyboard, watch what you're hitting come up on the screen, hit one button, and it prints a piece of paper out like this. I don't understand anything about that. I just know it does. Like a car, I don't see how you can go to a gas station and put gas in it and hit the gas pedal and it goes. I mean, it's hard to understand, but those things are minor compared to your body. Your body is, I mean, it's the big daddy, so to say, of machines. And if people could figure it out, they would start making them. So there's no way that anybody could ever really understand completely how the body works. So right now, I'm going to show the video. It's about 5 minutes. There's some things in the video, some words you might not be able to understand. We'll go over them here in just a second, and we'll give you a better picture. Which one of y'all guys, you guys like working at? I mean, when you go downstairs, you enjoy it. Is anyone in here? How many of you all don't really like it, but don't mind to do it? I have a big question. How many don't hate to go down there, don't even want to see another weight room in life? Someone didn't answer that. Hopefully today, working out is not, what I'm trying to get up to you today, working out is not something that should be dreaded. I mean, it's once you get into the habit of doing it, for me it's just like taking a shower every day. I go and do it and I don't even think nothing about it. When I miss it, it's just like if I miss a day without a shower. I mean, I want to get back into it. So I'm gonna show you the picture. And here's a word bank. Just like I said, when you hear one of these words mentioned, just write down 2 or 3 word definition for them. Kind of save you some time to write. Did everyone get one, please? Once you turn it on the back of the paper, I'm going to show you this picture. And I want you to write down the first thing that comes to your mind, whether it be negative, or positive, or neutral. Just write down the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, raise your hand. Give me a few of the words that come up with. Okay.
Amen, Sarah.
Somebody else? Both male and female?
Just
No,
the female.
just the female.
Okay, so men look all right, that big.
Yeah.
Women looks good.
I thought they looked skanky because they were like so like big and it looked abnormal.
Anyone else?
Normal.
That about covered everything? Okay, that's what I thought when I started this lesson that you all might think that I'm trying to get across, but that's not the goal that I'm trying to get across. What I'm trying to get across is this right here. Did everyone hear that? Yeah. Everyone see it? Well, obviously, these are health goals for the year 2000, and there's a lot of health goals, but I picked these two out to increase the proportion of people who engage in activity to enhance muscular strength, muscular endurance, and flexibility. And the second one is to reduce the proportion of male high school seniors who use anabolic steroids. So that's the main goal for today's lesson, not the bodybuilding. Now we're going to go over some terms and who can define muscular strength? A muscular strength is the ability of a muscle to apply a maximum force against resistance one time. The ability of a muscle to apply a maximum force against a resistance one time.
I never got one of them.
Oh, yes. When I use the word muscular strength in today's lesson, we're going to be talking about doing exercises that'll build strength when we're weight training. Okay, muscular strength, the ability of a muscle to apply a maximum force against the resistance one time. And when I use it today, it's going to be doing exercises to build strength in the muscle. Okay, muscular endurance. This is the ability of a muscle to repeat muscle movement over a period of time. And when I use it in today's lesson, we're going to be talking about exercises that will build endurance in the muscle. Okay. Muscular endurance, the ability of a muscle to repeat muscle movement over a period of time. I don't know if y'all caught in the video about women building bulky muscles. There's two myths right now, and I've heard both of them. And the first one is the women and working out. And the video said, you know, for women, they can build strength without building large, bulky muscles. And there's things that can build large, bulky muscles. But if you go downstairs and you work out, men have a hormone called testosterone, and it builds muscles. Women have this, and this is not their main hormone. There's estrogen. And estrogen does not have the muscle building qualities as testosterone does. But you say, well, look at that woman up there. She's huge. You know, how does she do that? Well, there's 2 or 3 possibilities. One, that's her job. She probably does it, 8 or 10 hours a day. Second one, she more likely used maybe a male hormone and, ingested male hormones to build tissue like that, or maybe used dietary supplements, such as creatine or that new drug called androstenedione. So, women can look like that, but they cannot just from going down and working out every day or every other day, 45 minutes a day. They won't do that. Women have more proportion of fat than men are. So there's no way that they can build. They can get strong, but they don't have to worry about building large bulky muscles. And another thing is muscle versus fat. How many of y'all have heard Well, I'll go downstairs and I'll work out, or, you know, I'll work out for a year and then I quit and it just all turns into fat. Maybe you heard that before. Okay, you think that's true? Okay, this one is very, I mean, I started thinking about it and it really first, at first I could see why people thought this. I mean, take a pro football player. He goes and works out every day. Off season, on season, he's on the field. I mean, he's big, strong, muscular. Probably hardly any fat on him. And then he decides he's going to retire. You know, take it easy. He probably don't want to see a weight room the rest of his life. He's not out there lifting weights on the off season. He's just fishing. He's taking it easy. And you see him, say, 3 or 4 years later on a commercial or something, needing some money. Here he is now, he's got a big old belly on him. He waves his camera and the arms flapping in there. You know, what happened? Did it turn into muscle? I mean, did it turn into fat? Well, this myth, just remember, muscle is muscle, fat's fat. There's no relation between the two. What happens is, take this pro football player, he quits working out, he quits playing football, but he still eats the same. He has to eat a lot when he's out there doing things because he needs the energy. But he's taking it easy now. He's still eating as much as he used to. The first thing happens when he quits working out, like the video says, you'll lose your strength and you'll lose your size. It takes a while, it's not overnight, but over a while, your muscles will get smaller. Well, he still continues to eat the same, though he's not burning those extra calories off. So now that's where all the fat comes into place around the waistline, flabby arms, and stuff. I'll give you another example of this. Everyone remember Arnold Schwarzenegger when he first came out. I remember him when he was Mr. Olympia for so many amount of years. He was huge. Remember, how many of you ever seen Commando? That's an old movie. Okay, he was huge back then. I saw him at some banquet the other night, and you know, he looks like a regular Joe you meet on the street now. He's done it right, okay? He won all those titles, made all those moves. He decided, you know, he don't want to work out as much anymore. He's getting tired of it, whatever. So he quits working out. His muscles starts getting smaller and smaller, but what's happened? He's started to cut down on his diet. And he's slim now, but still he's not fat. So them's two myths that you probably heard, and both of them is true. Another thing about working out, you don't have to spend 2 or 3 hours working out. I mean, you can go downstairs and you can get your job done in 20, 40 minutes. I mean, it's not an all-day thing. Like I said, like me, it's like taking a shower. I mean, when I get through with my classes, I go to the fitness center, do my thing, and I'm out of there, and you know, I'm not killing no time. I mean, I could probably kill more time sitting on the couch watching TV. So just things to, when you get out of high school, you decide, you know, you take the career path, or the working path, or you take the continuing education. Just think about it, you know, one day when you're sitting on the couch, just try to motivate yourself, you know, do something. Maybe go try that one time. And I guarantee you like it. Now we're going to go on to muscle fiber composition. There's 2 kinds of composition. There's the slow twitch muscle and the fast twitch muscle. The slow twitch are red fibers. They're red because they have a large amount of blood flowing to them. These muscles contract for long periods of time. They're used for aerobic and muscular endurance exercises. And they're not tired very easily. And just a point on these 2 muscle fibers, you're born with what you got. I mean, if you have a large percentage of slow twitch muscles, more times than not, you're not going to, even though how hard you work out, you're not going to have a lot of strength. But you could run from here to the mile and back, no problem. You have a lot of endurance. fast twitch fibers, these are white fibers. They allow for explosive muscular contractions. They're used in anaerobic or strength-related activities. And these fatigue very easily. And an example of people who have a large amount of these in their muscles are sprinters. Like Flo Jo, she was fast, right? She had a large amount of fast twitch muscles, and that's what made her get out of the start gate so quick. And I didn't realize this until I started planning for this lesson. It's as simple as, say, a turkey or a geese on a dinner table. You know, or you go into the store and they say, you get a part of the chicken, say, you want a dark piece of meat or a white piece of meat. Well, a white piece of meat, that's the fast twitch fibers. And the slow twitch fibers would be at the wings. Say that geese, the geese has to fly down south, right, in the winter. They have to have a large amount of fast twitch fibers, slow twitch fibers, so they can fly all the way south without tiring. So that's where, I mean, it's a simple between fast twitch and slow twitch. There's three kinds of exercises that provide resistance. Isometric. During these exercises, you contract or tighten, but the muscle does not change in length. And the muscle does not change in length. An example of that would be me trying to push this wall. Muscles are contracting, but there's no movement at all. I mean, there's nothing. Another thing would be squeezing a baseball. You squeeze, but the muscles, they don't change at all. Okay? Strength can be developed with these type of exercises, but only in that one certain spot. Okay? Only in that one certain spot will they be strength. These are the least effective of the three kinds of exercises because throughout the range of motion of a muscle, they only give one kind. It's hard just to say you're trying to get stronger for baseball or a swing. It's hard just to sit there and squeeze that bat right there to get the muscles stronger. Because I mean, how many times out of 10 are you going to hit right there, the baseball right there when you're trying to hit it hard? So, and these are hazardous for older people because when you're squeezing, your blood pressure is raising, and you know, if you're not breathing right, all this pressure can build up, and no one knows what will happen. Advantages: they require no special equipment at all. A wall, anything solid, and these are useful for certain type of disabilities where movement and limbs are not very efficient, so they can grasp on something and build strength out of it. The second one is isotonic. These muscles lengthen and shorten through its full range of motion, while lowering and raising their resistance.
Is there a big factor?
Isotonic muscles lengthen and shorten through its full range of motion, while lowering and raising their resistance. And these are best done by free weights. Okay, free weights, everyone know what I mean by full range of motion? Okay, range of motion is just as far as you can contract it to as far as you can lengthen the muscle. That's the full range. Every muscle has a full range of motion. And these are best done with free weights, like I said, because some are easy to control. You get a full range, you know when you're at the very peak, and you know when you're at the very bottom. And the only weakness this isotonic has to them is, say you're doing a curl with a bar. What do you think is the hardest part of the curl? Is it up here, is it right here, or is it in the middle? In the middle. Who else thinks? Okay, the hardest part, say, of a curl would be right here. Okay, you've probably seen people working out, they're sitting here, they're doing that like that, just to get the weight right here. Once they get it right here, they bring it on up, right? Okay, so that's the downfall of these isotonic, because where you need the strength the most, if you can't do it right there, then you're just gonna give up. And the rest of the range of motion is not, the rest of the muscle's not gonna be worked out. So remember, these are the downfall. And you can cheat, which I don't recommend it, but arcing your back and doing that, it's not very efficient. This leads us to the third kind, isokinetic. These overload the muscle with maximum resistance throughout the full range of motion. You want me to repeat? These overload the muscle with maximum resistance throughout full range of motion. And this is a fairly relatively new term. Engineers, they've come out with a new design for weight machines. You can find them in health clubs, there'll be cables. And they got this specially designed globe on it right here. It's got a cam right there in the middle. And what it does is, we'll take the curl again. When you get right here, the hardest part, it takes, with this specially designed lobe right here, it takes a little off of it right there. That way you can get it on up. In the middle, where it's the easiest, it'll put a little more pressure on it. And then at the top, where it gets hard again, it'll take a little off. So you get a true workout that way. It keeps stress on the muscle maximum all the time. Everyone understand that? Okay. Okay. Oh, isokinetic, they overload the muscle with maximum resistance throughout the full range of motion. And more than likely, you're going to have to go to a health club to find these kinds of machines. They're great. Now we're going to go over the principle of overload. To improve muscular fitness, you have to deal with three factors. First, you have to stimulate the muscle. Second is nutrition. You have to get adequate nutrition to mend the little tires, not the ribs, little tires like Coach Daniel says. And third thing is rest. And it takes a while for a muscle, nutrients to get to the muscle to repair them, so it'll grow strong. You have to stimulate the muscle, nutrition, and rest. Frequency. How long should we wait to work out? What's Coach Daniel said? Every other day. That's a good rule of thumb. Or every 48 hours. My schedule, you can either go and you can work out every muscle group that you want to every other day, which would be efficient for y'all since you only meet twice a week. Or you can do like me. I work out a muscle group per day, 5 days a week. I work out like my chest on Mondays. I work my biceps on Tuesday. I work my triceps on Wednesday. Thursday I work my shoulders. Fridays I work my legs and back. Tell me your schedule, Mike.
Basically the same.
It's the same? Okay. So there's different ways you can do it. A lot, every other day, or you can break it down into each muscle group once a week. Intensity. Intensity just goes with how much weight's being lifted. Say, to improve muscular strength, you need to try to lift 60 to 90% of your maximum weight. So if you can say you can bench press 100 pounds, and you want to work on muscular strength, then you'll put 60 to 90 pounds on the bar and bench press it 6 to 10 times. That'll work muscular strength. Muscular endurance is 30 to 50% of the weight. So if you want to work on muscular endurance, you'd go downstairs and you'd put 30 to 50 pounds and do it 15 to 25 times. And time. repetition, that is where you go from point A, where the muscle's fully lengthened, point B, where it's fully contracted, point C, all the way lengthened again. That's one repetition. And when you continuously, without quitting, do this, say 6 or 8 times, that's called sets. And you've probably heard Coach Daniel say, you know, do that 3 sets of whatever, whether it be sit-ups, push-ups, whatever. So, reps and sets. Muscular strength, maybe 3 sets of 6 to 10. Muscular endurance, 3 sets of 12 to 20. Principle of progression. This is exactly what it says. It's progress when your body's ready. Why should we progress? Why should we not, first, when we go down there, let's say we've got 100 pounds on the bench press, why shouldn't we go to 110 pounds next time we go down there? Does anyone know? Well, especially if you all just starting out working out, maybe your first time lifting weights. Who's been sore in here so far, working out? Couple people. Okay, your body, it takes time to adjust to these new things. I mean, this is totally new. You know, what's going on? It has to take a little time to figure it out. And your muscles will start getting stronger, and also your ligaments, your tendons, they start getting stronger. And this is where all the soreness comes from, because they're not used to it. They're getting these little bitty tears in them. They're having to repair them. So that's just a principle of progression. Just say you started out with a bench press, and you were benching 100 pounds. Next, and say you got the first set you did it 8 times. You got it up, you felt pretty good about it. Second time you did it 7 times, and the third time you only got it 6. Next week you do the same thing. Next week, finally you come to the point where you're getting it 8 times the first time. You can't, that wasn't nothing. Second time you do it 8 times. That wasn't nothing either. Third time you get it 8 times, you kind of start to feel it, you know. Well, it's time to progress on that. Next time you go downstairs, you put a 5 on each side, go up 10 pounds. And you'll probably go down to, 8 the first time, second, 7 the second time, and maybe 6 the third time. This is how you progress in the strength. Just by adding a little bit of weight ever so often when your body's ready, not when you're ready. Your body tells you, hey, this is easy. I need to be challenged a little more. The next thing is principles of specific. And this one, you need to isolate the muscle that you want to improve. Isolate the muscle you want to improve. That is principle of specific. So if I say I'm a wrestler and I want to work out my legs because I want strong legs to try to pin the guy, well, I'm not going to go in there and work out my arms to try to get my legs strong. Okay? You have to isolate the muscles that you want to get strong. Now, like I said, your body is an amazing piece of art, piece of work, piece of machine. I walked in the fitness center about a year back, and I would do my warm-up, and I start lifting weights, and I look over, and here's this guy with a broke hand working out. I just kind of look at him like, why are you in here working out with a broke hand? I mean, get out of here, let it heal, and come back and work out. You're not going to lose that much. Well, I took a class, kinesiology last semester, and it's the study of muscles. And I didn't know, but like that guy with a broke hand, he went in, he worked out this side of his body, his arm. He worked out this arm. Now, who all in here has had a broke arm or something, had a cast on? Okay, at first that cast's real tight, right? And then say a couple weeks later, you're getting a coat hanger down there trying to scratch, right? And it's loose. Did the cast get smaller? That's right. It's called atrophy. It's on your word list. That means that when your muscles atrophy, they get small. So here I look at this guy again after I took this class, and I say, well, hey, why is he in here working out? Well, what I didn't know is when you work out one side of the muscle, of course, one side of the body, of course that muscle will get stronger. But also it'll transfer in to this side of the muscle. It won't be as strong, but it'll transfer, how, I don't know, and make this muscle stay the same and get stronger also. like I said, your body, wild machine. So muscular strength and endurance, there's, like I said, muscular strength would be 6 to 10 during on a set, muscular endurance would be 12 to 20. But say, I don't want to worry about muscular strength or muscular endurance, I want to get a combination of the two. So, combination of the two would be do a set of 8 to 12 reps in it. And that'll get both muscular strength and muscular endurance, and do it at least 2 days a week to maintain it. Because video said, if you do gain strength and then you quit, you're going to lose everything you ever got. And that goes for aerobic activity too. You're able to run 3 miles without breathing heavy, you quit for 6 months, and you start back, you're not going to be at the same point that you were. Now we're going to go down the definition list, and I'm going to go over any that I missed. Absolute strength, that is the maximum amount of force one can exert or the maximum number of weight one can lift one time. Maximum amount of force one can exert or the maximum number of weight one can lift on one hand. And you've probably all heard, here's a big guy walking down the hall, football player probably, you hear one of his buddy come up and say, what'd you max out yesterday or something? Well, that's the same term, it's just one time, probably didn't have no form of doing it, just as much weight as they could get up one time. Second one is anabolic steroids. These are man-made or synthetic hormones similar to the male hormone testosterone. A synthetic hormone similar to the male hormone testosterone. These increase muscle mass, muscle weight, and bone maturation. Why teenagers today still decide, well, I should put it on maybe on why coaches knowingly let their teenagers do it. I mean, there's so many, you've probably all heard of the health risk involved with using steroids. I mean, there's plenty, and I've got the transparency here, and I had to read out a lot of them just to get the best of them. Because these are some physical and psychological effects it has on the body, both pertain to male and female. First one is cancer of the liver, both male and female, and male, cancer of the testicles and prostate. The second one is cardiac disease and early heart attack. Third one is hypertension and increased risk of strokes. Hypertension, that's just high blood pressure. Fourth one is anemia, or a puffy face. Another one is nosebleeds, frequent nosebleeds. Scalp hair loss, and women that take anabolic steroids. This is permanent even when they come off the drug. Decrease HDL, and I think Mr. Hager, they said these are some good guys. Decrease aerobic capacity. They have severe acne on the face, chest, upper back, and thighs. They have very oily skin. They have frequent headaches. Read that last one. Yeah, death. That's right. You can die from using anabolic steroids. So something to think about physically. That if one ever decides to take this drug, that could happen. Psychologically, they have total personal change. They're hostile and aggressive, violent behaviors, inability to accept failure, depression, very wide mood swings. And you've probably heard of people on steroids that just go crazy sometimes. So these are just a few effects that anabolic steroids would have on the body. Okay, going on down the line, concentric contraction. these are called positive. So if you're in a weight room, and what this is the muscle gets shorter as it contracts. Say we're doing a curl. We start down here, the muscle, it's at its longest point. We want to bring the weight up, it contracts, we call it positive, and gets shorter. The same thing would be for eccentric. What do you think eccentric is? But it's still contracting. Okay, that kind of throws me off. I knew it, but I couldn't into words. It's still contracting as it gets longer. So now that you know these two, which one is more important? What do you think? Do you think getting muscle, lifting the weight, you think it's more important than lowering the weight? Or do you think they're equal? Lifting. Who says lifting? Everyone? Here's where it puzzled me too. I always thought, man, if I get that weight up, gee, I don't care how I get it down as long as I get it up. Well, this is not true. Say your parents bought a brand new TV. Here you are carrying this big TV and you've got it up. They say, put it over there and float it. Well, if you've never worked a muscle out to do eccentric training, well, as soon as you go down, you're going to pull back muscles and everything. So it's important that we just don't let gravity pull the weight back down. Just to apply resistance as the weight's going down, and that'll both work out the concentric and eccentric. And studies show there's no difference. There's as much muscular activity, muscle activity, curling the weight or bringing shortening the muscles as they are both. So that's important. Just because you can get it up, you need to concentrate on getting it down too, because they work muscles the same way. Like I said, atrophy. That's when a muscle gets smaller due to inactivity. And if atrophy means that, what do you think hypertrophy means? That's right. That's where it increases in size as a result of strength training. And a sticking point. This is a point in the range of motion where the weight cannot be lifted any further. Point where the weight cannot be lifted any further. And every once in a while, I'll go in and I'll say, I want to max out, say, my bench press, just to see if I'm getting any stronger. And the weakest part on the bench press, like the curl, is just right here, a couple inches off your chest. And, I can bring down a lot of weight just right here and push it back up, no problem. But when you have to get down here, it's a whole different story. So that's called a sticking point. And what you want to do when you have a bad sticking point, when you know you can do the weight, it's just that one little point that you can never get past, then you work on that part. Say the bench press, your chest muscles are big. They have like the upper part, the middle part, and the lower part. Well, that little spot right there, where you can't get up on the bench press, that's due to the lower part of the muscle. And what do? I work the lower part of my chest. And what I do there is, everyone knows the incline bench press in there, when you're up like this. Well, they make a decline too when your feet's higher than your head. And that'll work the lower part, and when I do work the lower part, I'll be able to get past that one little sticking spot. And it goes with the curl. When you do a curl, just work on that one little spot right there. That tough spot, and next time when you want to, say, max out on a curl or whatever, you'll be able to get past that one stick spot. We went over the three kinds of training: isokinetic, isometric, isotonic. Progressive, remember, that's just adding weights every once in a while, every 6 weeks or so. Fast twitch and slow twitch. Remember, fast twitch is the white fibers. They tire very easily. The slow twitch are the red fibers. They're for endurance. And fat, just remember, like I said about the meals, fat's fat and muscle's muscle. There's no correlation between the two. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Recovery is just, like I said, taking time off to let your muscles heal. Intensity is just the weight lifted. Time, that's just the number of times you do it, like I said, rep. Frequency is 48 hours, at least, for one muscle, or do a different muscle part every day. Resistance, just the amount of weight lifted. Principle of specificity, that means, just work out the muscle that you want to get stronger. Principle of overload, that's just putting stress on the muscle. making it do more than it's done before. Power. Power is different from strength. Power is the time it takes to move a weight. Example, say a guy goes into the leg extension machine down there. He puts a lot of weight on there. It takes him 2 seconds to get it from right here to right here. Okay, then another guy goes down there, sits beside him. It takes him 1 second to get it right here, right here. Okay, he has more power because power is measured as speed. How long did it take to get from point A to point B? Okay, say that guy in that picture over there comes over here, and it takes him 2 seconds to get that much weight. Well, another guy that can weigh 120 pounds can come in and do it quicker. And he has more power. He's not, doesn't need to say stronger than he is. He just has more power. And power, remember, power is just determined on how many fast twitch muscles you have. If you have a lot of fast twitch muscles, then you're going to be stronger. Okay, you might not have the endurance, but you will be stronger than someone who doesn't have it. And I've got a transparency that just shows some different ways to, with free weights and weight machines. Free weights, they require balance and coordination and more muscle stabilization. And when I mean free weights, I just mean like the dumbbell and the barbell. I mean no cables or nothing like that. They're true to real life situations, so skill transfers to daily life. So if you're trying to, say you're trying to work your legs out to be better at wrestling, then you can do weight exercises that will help you get more strength in your legs. And do movements like a wrestler would do. They do, though, create more possibility of injury due to carelessness. Because a lot of people, especially males, they get in there in the gym, they try to beat Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they get it up, they try to get the weight up, and they try to, just get it up. No form, nothing, just as hard as it is, they try to get it any way they can. They require a spotter for safety. It takes more time to change these weights, but there are an unlimited number of exercises possible. When you're doing, say you're doing a curl, you can start out with the weight with your hand up, and you can end up with it on the other side. I mean, it works the bicep. Either which way you turn your hand, it works it out in a different spot. They are less expensive, but if you try to get them in your home, they have to just pretty much have a room to themselves because they cluster up the whole room, and they may get lost or stuff. Weight machines, these are your resting body or stabilized while you're doing these. These would be like cable machines or hydraulic machines. And these are easier to isolate a particular muscle group. Remember the isokinetic machines? They are truer rolling. They isolate the muscle better. They control path of weight. They're not true to life. So you have to, if this is the only way the machine will go, that's the only exercise you're going to get. They're safer because they cannot fall on a participant. You need no spotter. They're easily and quick to change weights. You just usually remove a little pin. Restricted to range and angle of movement created by the machine, like I said. These are expensive. If you ever want to work out on one of these, you're more likely to have to go to a health club. And these machines do require a lot of space. So what's that transparency? Breathing. Who knows the correct way to breathe while we're lifting weights? Anyone know? Do you think it's important? Breathe right. Okay, who in here thinks hold your breath would be the best way to do it? Okay, the best way, go ahead. The best way is when weight's being lifted, whether it be a curl, whether it be a bench press, exhale then. So when the hardest part of any exercise, exhale. When you're coming down, inhale. Or inhale coming down this way. It's important not to hold the breath. I was reading in a book when I was doing this, and they measured a guy's blood pressure when he was doing a leg press, where he was laying down and pressing like that, with the machine downstairs. It was ungodly reading, it was like 400. You remember what's normal blood pressure, like 120 over 80, something like that? It was like 400 over something, near the 200. And the guy could have, just like that, gone. Blood or artery could busted. So do not hold your breath when you're lifting weights. Make sure you get to breathe. Don't hyperventilate yourself and taking a bunch of quick breaths. Just one good breath and then do the exercise. Next thing is dietary supplements. And what's the big dietary supplement going on right now? Well, that's one of what's Mark McGuire used.
Andrew.
He used creatine. He also uses androstenedione, right?
Andrew Dynasty.
Okay, this is a brand new dietary supplement, so to say, that's on the market. And the real true meaning of dietary supplement is something that you don't get in your diet. That's when you're supposed to take a dietary supplement. So say like a vegetarian that doesn't eat meat, then they sometimes don't get the amount of nutrients in their diet that they need. And that's when a dietary supplement comes into effect. Now they're calling this androstenedione and creatine both dietary supplements. Now your body makes creatine in small amounts. Okay, this androstenedione is the brand new drug right now. And who thinks it should be a steroid? I mean, what you heard, who thinks it should be a steroid? Does anyone really have a lot of knowledge on the subject, been keeping up with it? North Carolina has, you smell it, you know anything about it? You heard anything?
Other than just boost the testosterone level of the male.
Well, there's two things there's two things that cause, that classify something as a steroid. One, it increases testosterone in the male, and two, it has tissue building quality. And they have tested this drug androstenedione, and it does both. It increases the testosterone and it builds muscle. But they still call it a dietary supplement because it's found in your body, where the anabolic steroids is man-made. So there's a lot of research. I've refused to take it so far. I mean, it's just, there needs to be more research on it. The creatine has been around since about the early 90s, and I do take creatine. I've took it for about 9 months now, off and on, and it does help. It increases your energy output when you're lifting weights, and it's found in the body, but like I said, not in just small amounts. And when you take a shake, it puts more abundant. A lot of it gets wasted, and a lot of it's not absorbed, but a lot of it is. So, and the facts I've seen about it, the only drawback to it, which it is illegal in NFL football, and so is androstenedione. Androstenedione is illegal in NFL playing, and they're trying to get it right now illegal in baseball. So I'd say next year, if they keep talking about it, it'll probably be banned from Major League Baseball also. So, and I've got one more transparency. Like I said, most of you all are beginners in lifting weights. Keep the light on, please.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
all right. And here are just a few things to remember as you start your program. And like I said, you know, some of you all are not too enthused about it right now, but hopefully, you know, maybe one day when you get in college or get isolated with your friends, and you know, when you want to do something, it's going to take you to do it. Just try to remember some of these facts here. First thing is remember to warm up before at least 10 minutes, and Coach Daniels gives you an adequate warm up before you go lift weights, and to stay warm during the workout. Don't hold your breath while lifting, because this may cause blackouts or hernias. Avoid hyperventilation before lifting weight. Don't take a bunch of deep, small breaths, or a bunch of little quick breaths. Avoid dangerous or high-risk exercises. For the beginner, just learn the form. Learn the weights. Learn how the weight's supposed to be lifted. And just focus on that when you're first starting. Progress slowly. avoid arching your back as much as possible. Keep the weight as close to the body as you can in the exercises you do. And do not lift from a stoop. If you've got a 45-pound plate here, don't just reach over like that. Reach from lifting your legs when you're lifting a weight. Another one is squats. I don't know if any of you all have done squats, but don't do full squats. I mean, don't go all the way as far as you can. Just do a half squat. It'll work the same thing. It will avoid knee injuries also. Be sure the collars are tight. When you're putting the weight on, put that little collar, make sure they're tight. Use a moderately slow, continuous, controlled movement. Overload the muscle, but don't overwhelm. Try to keep a definite rhythm, and do not allow the weights to drop or bang on the floor. And another thing I just thought of is never lift alone. Especially, you know, one day you may have a little workbench downstairs in your basement. Just leave it off, right? Just leave it off. You may have a little workstation downstairs, a little plastic bench or something, plastic weights, and you think, well, I'm gonna go downstairs, I'm gonna, you know, work on my chest or do the bench press. Well, needless to say, these wives came home and their husbands been downstairs with weights on their data. They went downstairs, they tried to max out, they couldn't get it, and you know, there's no way to get the weight off of it. So it's important, if you ever work out, make sure you have someone there, and especially if you're doing heavy weights, to get it off of you if you ever get in trouble. Like I said, it's very dangerous if you try to do it alone. Now we're going to go over a kind of a study test. Try to make this quick, make sure I've covered everything I want to today. Okay, increased muscular fitness is important because it will A, decrease your flexibility, B, improve your posture and appearance, C, make you big and obese, or D, make you weigh less than a fat person. B, okay, improve your posture and appearance. Number 2, which is true about weight training? A, females do not need to worry about muscle bulk and definition. B, females, like males, can build large, bulky muscles. C, muscle developed during weight training will turn to fat if you stop lifting. Or D, weight training will cause a person to become muscle bound. A, correct. Number 3, females should not worry about becoming muscle bound because A, estrogen is their primary sex hormone. B, they have more fat than males in muscle definition. C, they have more fast twitch fibers than males. D, both A and B are correct.
D.
Okay. Which type of muscle fiber contributes most to muscular endurance? So endurance, remember, we're going for a long period of time. A, cardiac, B, fast twitch, C, slow twitch, D, all of the above. Slow twitch, correct. Which is not true about fast twitch muscles? A, all are called white fibers. B, all are found in all skeletal muscles. C, all are necessary for short distance track events. Or D, used primarily for aerobic activity. Remember, these are fast twitch, so they what?
C.
That's right. Not true about fast twitch. D's correct. Which method of weight training can be used to develop muscular strength? I'm not going to read the answer. Just talk when you get an answer for it.
All of the above.
Okay, it's D, because remember, in each of the things, strength will be developed. It just depends on which range you want. Number 7, what type of strength development exercise are you performing if the length of your muscle does not change?
Isometric.
Isometric. If you push against a stationary object for 8 seconds, you have to perform isometric, same thing. A muscular contraction with a barbell involving movement of a body part throughout a full range of motion is called? Okay, it's both. Remember, isokinetic also does it through the full range of motion, so C and D are correct in that. A machine that provides both constant speed and maximum resistance through the full range of motion provides what type of muscular contraction? Remember the demonstration on the new kind of machine? When your goal is to increase muscular endurance, your starting weight, though, should be what percent of your maximum lift in one repetition?
C.
This is muscular endurance now.
B.
Okay, 30 to 60% of your weight. When you train specifically for strength, the recommended number of repetitions is? A. That's correct, 4 to 8. A group of repeated movements performed continuously with a given weight load is known as a?
D. A, B, C, D.
Okay, remember,
Teachers, please excuse this interruption. Ms. Locke has called and asked that all classrooms who would like to turn your TVs to CNN. A Monterey student will be on CNN at 9:15 this morning. So those who would like to, please turn it on to CNN. Thank you.
okay, this is repeated movements, so it's more than one. So this would be, it wouldn't be a repetition because that's only one movement. It would be C, right, that's C. Reason for limiting your weight training workout to 3 sessions per week is?
B.
Correct. Give the muscle time to rest. And the 15th one I messed up on. So which of the following would relate to strength training sessions? Person should read high intensity, low repetitions. And fourth one should read high repetitions, low intensity. A's right. High intensity, low repetitions, muscular strength. We got one more page. Here's the last one. Which of the following would relate to a muscular endurance training session? And the first one should read high intensity, low repetition. Remember, this is muscular endurance. C is correct. High reps and low intensity. The procedure of increasing weight loads every several weeks is known as?
D.
Correct, progression. During the lifting phase of weight training, it is recommended that you exhale in here, hold your breath. During the lifting phase. That's correct. Exhale. When exerting yourself during weight training, which of the following should you do?
D.
D, right. Work at your own pace. Never get in a hurry. Even if somebody's waiting on the bench or something, just tell them when you get through, that's when I'll be through. Number 20. Which is a safety consideration for weight training?
D.
Who thinks it's B? Anybody think it's C? Thinks C. Okay, correct answer is B. We should concentrate just on going through the big range of motion. Okay, we're about through, so just like one more thing. Do we have any questions on what went over today? Anything on the word definitions I need to go over one more time? No, I've got one more thing to show you. This is some of the muscle groups. ladies.
God.
Okay, right here you have what's called the trapezius. That's your, like your neck muscle. And it's important that we work, I mean, we just don't want to go downstairs and work out our chest and our legs. I mean, we want to work out every muscle of the body to look, you know, I mean, we just have big shoulders and a small chest, you know, we're not going to look right. We look proportionate. That's what we're looking for. And also, you don't need to build up, say, like the front of your legs and never work the back of your legs, because they need to be relatively, of course, your quads are a bigger group, relatively they need to be the same amount of strength, because if you get one stronger than the other, then just any little movement will pull the other one. So your trapezius right here, you would just take like your definitions, flip them over, draw your little stick man, and maybe look at them and maybe try some of these exercises tomorrow when you go downstairs in the weight room. But your trapezius, this is like a barbell, or just grab it and go up just like that. Simple thing just like that, that'll work your trapezius. Or you can get like a dumbbell, this is like a dumbbell, have two of them to your side and do shoulder shrugs. And that'll also work your trapezius out. Next thing is chest. Everyone probably knows bench press is great for the chest exercises. The incline, y'all have an incline bench down there. That'll work the upper part of your chest. And we have a decline bench at Tech, and that's where, like I said, you're more at an angle your head's going, and that'll work the bottom part of your chest. Flies, there's cable flies, but also you can do with dumbbells. Just lay on a bench with two dumbbells out to each side. Come in and squeeze your chest, just like so. That'll also work your chest out. And your chest is pectoral major and minor. Your bicep is curls. That's the thing for curls. You can do a narrow grip with a barbell. It'll work a different spot than a shoulder length grip. And I don't recommend doing a very wide grip. It's on your elbows. With a barbell, you can do like a stand up against the wall, and it's really isolated. You use no movement. Just isolate like that. You can sit down, and you lean up against your leg. That'll also isolate it. Forearm, the only thing you have to do to work your forearm out is just turn the weight around. And it's better done with barbell. Just come up just like so. That'll work your forearms out. Also, you can do wrist curls with barbell. You can lay the edge of the bench, your wrist over the edge of the bench, just curl just like this. And you can also turn it around and curl like that. That'll work your wrist and your forearms. Your back, I don't think you all have any pulleys downstairs, but pull-ups is great for your back. You work your back muscles out. Your latissimus dorsi. Your abdominals, just crunches. Crunches are better than full sit-ups, because once you get past one spot, your hip flexors are going to do most of the work. So to work your abdominals out, just mainly work on the crunch. Your quadriceps, remember you have that machine downstairs, your quad extensions, where you sit down and you lift like so. And also the leg press, the thing with the chain on it, that also works your quadriceps, plus you work your hamstrings. And hamstrings is the one you lay down on, and you curl it up like so. That'll work the back of your legs. Your calves, one thing you have to do with calves is you can get a weight, or just get any round weight downstairs, maybe step on the board, do calf raises. That'll work on your calf muscles. Triceps. The triceps get worked out when you do bench press. Also, you can take a barbell and you can just do like so, lean down and do tricep extensions. You can do them over your head, like so, or I mean, there's unlimited ways you can do exercises with free weights. Or you can use a straight bar, and you can lay down on a bench and do like so, or you can do them overhead, like so. And I believe that's all of most of them. Use life on it. Just remember that today I wasn't trying to, my main goal wasn't to try to get you to look like these people in the picture up here. Main goal was to try to get everyone in the future, hopefully, to think about working out, and because it's important for good posture, and later in life, it'll be better, you'll have less injuries, you'll have better posture, and you'll have more strength later in life. That's all I have. Thanks for giving me your attention today.